Hello, manifestors and those who love them. I am Isa Silver. I am a human design translator by profession and a manifestor myself since 1977. And what I have to share in this seasonal offering is something I wish I had received, say, 20 years ago, because I've been living inside this closed aura the whole time with this open sacral. And it's taken a while to learn the things that I can share. It really wasn't until the time I happened to meet human design in 2016 that I started to understand that self care, this phrase that's used a lot, it, it's not the same for everyone because we're all really different. What is self care for a sacral defined human is not the same if you have an open sacral. And there are many more levels of this. I'll get into some details about what I'd like to share later on. But this is my primary message and what I'd like to meet you about. And it does take practice. That's true. And this year has been incredibly hard for a lot of us. I mean, I was laughing at this months ago, but it's just the reality of 2025. And that's part of why I've made the price of this offering so accessible. And here it is from the first manifestor, so to speak, the one who got us into this. This is true when it comes to taking care of your body and your mind. And by the way, when I say self-care, I do mean both, but maybe you need help with one or the other more. And maybe I can help you with that because I have a head definition that is separate from my body definition. I have a lot of personal experience in my human design experiment of understanding mind versus body and the disconnects. And this self-care initiation session that I'm offering based on your body graph, it's not about telling you to stop smoking, stop drinking, or whatever. I mean, that's not the point. Uh, but seeing your body graph, understanding what you're wired for. Are you wired for hot food or cold food, for example? This is just information that I can share that has helped me in my process and helps me accept the fact that I still drink, I still smoke some cigarettes, just stuff. I mean, I'm not a teetotaler. And that's an example of the homogenization of humans, is telling everybody that nothing that is enjoyable is good for them. What I'm really more interested in is feeling comfortable in my skin. And that has taken me a lot of decades, and the last 9 years of human design have really helped. And then it gets down to this, even on the really rough days, like many of us have had rough years and months lately, just to remember that you are a unique and, shall we say, divine being, and it starts with loving yourself. Or maybe that's where you can end up. It's something that I have found in recent years. By understanding how I'm not like my mother and I'm not like my sisters and I'm not like the people I went to school with, although some things in common, but taking care of me required me to see my body graph. This is not my body graph, but this is a manifestor that I spent a few weeks with, so I know this human, and this person doesn't need human design. This person is peaceful, not really stressed. Anyway, from a different generation, of course. But I want to get into what is unique about the self-care initiation session that I'm offering, and that is I'm not going to look at just the traditional things I would share in a normal body graph translation, which, by the way, I love doing. I love impacting manifestors with deep information about their design and getting them going into their journey into being comfortable in their own skin. But let me just use the body graph to show you some of the things I'll include in that session. We will look at your open centers. Here's open centers, and we'll talk about conditioning of open centers and defined centers, or we could just skip that and go right to your body's determination. This is based on your design sun earth. This is your body's script, which is different than your personality's script. And this is actually the information underneath your body graph in the tone and the color of your body. So this is called PHS, primary health system. This is this kind of weird thing about human design where you can practice eating in with these unusual conditions or qualities of food and recognize whether or not you feel better. I have a whole long video out there on YouTube about my experience with PHS. I had decades of digestion troubles and now I don't, basically because I just eat in quiet spaces. I'm a low sound determination. So we can get into that if you're ready. We're also going to be looking at the nodal environment that you live in. This is something that only in recent years have I really started to see, and it really helps me on the mental level accept the conditions that my body is born into compared to what my mind thinks is going on. And that's what's happening here. On the left, these are the conditions that the body is in. A fifth line environment, gate 15, North Node. That's really different than gate 12, line 4, north node of the personality. So maybe your mind will be more calm about you, as mine became, by recognizing this. What else do I want to look at? Ah, yeah, the voices of the throat. For manifestors, I think this is really key. I've been teaching it for some years and it just gets better for me to understand which words, not precisely words, but kind of which messages you were wired to speak. And according to Ra, speaking out of your wiring is a strain on your throat. I personally have used this a lot when my mind is freaking out about something that it thinks is wrong in my life. I check against these and recognize if I use my own words, then the mental problem goes away. So I'd love to help you with that if it could be helpful for you. It's all getting down to the frequency with which you use your voice. Your voice is an agent of peace in the world or chaos and anger. And the chaos and anger we know is a dominating force in the world right now. So each one of us has the potential through taking care of our body, our instrument, the instrument of the voice, to get aligned to the frequency. And this is a mechanical process. And it doesn't care whether you drink red wine or smoke cigarettes or whatever, okay? It's not about that. It's about living in your frequency, not your mind's idea of perfection. So here's what I'm offering for $60. You'll get a session that includes the things we've talked about above, or anywhere else you want to go in human design, to be honest. And then you have the option of joining me and whoever else shows up for some online sessions. I don't live with a family. I don't live in my birth country. I want to just chat, to be honest. But I will offer some educational things there too and give you a chance to contribute to that. And if you are feeling it, then, and you know that you want some support in the coming year, then I'm giving a discount on that because I know we all need help. And there's me. You can email me anytime. That website is where you'll find my self-care for manifestors through the holidays offering. Hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for listening.